Hello! This is how to build a simple log store out of pallets. The first thing you need to do in whatever you do is you need the pallets. So what I've got here is I've got 5 pallets, 1, 2, 3 at the back, 4 at the top and 5 at the bottom. It's a good idea in whatever way you do this to do a little bit of a dry test first, a little proof of concept. So these are literally sitting on top of each other just to make sure I've got the heights right and everything lines up. Pallets come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, so you just want to double check that, because even if you have got 5, they might be all different sizes and you don't want a log store that is a little bit askew all the time. So this is the good first step, is just to do a little bit of a dry run. Okay, so the tools I've got: screwdriver set, some wood stain with a brush and a roller. I've got a jigsaw there, and I've got a drill, and I'll let you know if I use any other things as I go ahead. Something else you'll need to know: you've got some bricks. It's good to lift this pallet up off the ground to avoid it causing getting rotting a little bit too early. I've also got some plastic sheeting to go underneath. First thing I'm going to do is paint the base of it with wood stain. It seems like a good thing to do. It's a bit more damaged than I'd like, and that will also give it a little bit more life. No one will see the base, but I'll know it's been protected, so it seems like a good thing to do. I'm going to do it. Task here is the base. I want to actually have it a little bit lower, which means I need to do a little bit of digging and get slightly narrower bricks. So I've got some pavers here which are a little bit too thick. I'm going to use some old Indian sandstone that's cracked, and hopefully that will drop a couple of inches off the overall height of this, which will make it look a little bit nicer. Got my damp-proof membrane at the bottom. I found a good piece that will keep going along there, and that'll be useful later. This is a bit of a guessing game with these rocks. So the idea is this is lowering the depth of this. I've got some Indian sandstone there, some random broken paving slabs there, and some pavers at the bottom. This garden's on a bit of a slope, so I'm hoping that will all even out. Let's see. Anything that's slightly off should be okay. You can find out by standing on it, but it will settle over time. I'm standing on the base. We are good to go. It doesn't wobble. I've got the pavers underneath, and I've also got the damp-proof membrane underneath. So this is stage 1 done. Next step is doing the walls. This one's a bit broken in the middle here, you can see, so I'm just going to trim that off with the jigsaw. And after that I'm going to take the jigsaw and cut up some of those thicker bits there from another pallet which we've dismembered, and that will be used to reinforce the connections here. So I'll be screwing into both sides of that. One will go into the side here, one will go into the base there, and I'll show you how. Okay, so I've got these blocks here which I've managed to saw off. This is from another pallet, and the goal is, and I've not done this before, is to put it basically under here, and what will happen is screws will go into the side from this side and then down through the bottom here, attaching it to the base. So we'll have that stable, and I'm going to do a couple on each side. Now this should just hang together, as you saw earlier on. It will just rest in a natural position, so these are not bearing weight, they just give stability and support. So that's the thinking behind that. I've got this for creating a pilot hole so the wood doesn't split when I drill through it, because that would be problematic. we got the first one in, and you can see we've got two in the top, screwing this downwards, and then in one on the side, two on the side there, gluing it on, and that's the idea. And I just need to do that for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those. Right, the walls are up, so we're ready to go to the roof. The roof is here, here's the roof. Problem with the roof is it's got holes in it. So I've got some slats I'm going to knock into place, and then I'm also going to angle this. So I'm going to need a crowbar in order to remove most of one side so it naturally slopes. That means the water will just roll off effectively, as long as obviously I can fill those holes in the slats. So that's the next task. Remember that, the computer game from the 90s, Half-Life and Half-Life 2. I don't know if it's the 90s or the noughties, but yeah, this is a wrecking bar. We're going to use this to remove. What we're going to take off is we're going to take off this one and everything here, except for this bit at the bottom there. So that's going to remain. This is going to go, that's going to go, that's going to go as well, but we're going to leave that end, and that will create a slope. Hopefully you'll be able to see the effect. Here we have our lid, and you can probably see it's got an angle now, and the angle's all because it's got that bottom bit left in. We use the crowbar, wrecking bar and a lump hammer to remove all the nails, and those nails will be sticking out, so do make them safe by banging them flat as possible, or you could use an angle grinder or something just to remove it if you've got one of those tools. But we're ready to make it waterproof now. To make it waterproof, I've got some boards which we've removed from a previous pallet, and I'm kind of hoping I'll be able to wedge them in here. You can see it almost fits, so I'm going to wangle them in there, and once that's done, trim it, paint it, and then install it. Maybe install it then paint it. I'll work it out. We've hit a small snag. I was expecting these planks to fit nicely in between these gaps, and they don't. I think the wood has been expanded by the recent rain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brace them instead. So put a plank across the top here, screw that plank in, and that will just hold it in place, and that will be watertight enough to allow the rocks to dry. At least I hope so. Okay, that's the basic build. Come over here so you can see. There it is. First, it's a really simple log store. Will it win any prizes in a beauty contest? No. Will it keep your logs dry? Yeah, you'll be able to season in this. What's next? I'm going to stain it so it's all looking brown. It doesn't look like this anymore. Okay, I think we're done. I've got stuff on my nose. Oh, it's not coming off. Anyway, I think we're done. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 pallets worth of wood there to make a fairly simple, fairly robust log store that pretty much anyone can make. If I was to do it again, I'd probably rethink the lid. I'm sure it would be fine, to be honest, but I kind of did one earlier to make space for this, and I was quite happy with that, but that's using a different kind of wood, which gave me the option to do some kind of overlapping. I think that looks nicer. But this isn't about looking nice, this is about the challenge of you've just got pallets, can you make one work? And you can. Next, what's next? Next, well, I don't think I've got all those logs there. I don't think it's all going to fit in the thing I just made. So what I did when I was making this was kind of build a space next to it. So my next video is going to be about building an extension to that. Hopefully that will be of interest to some of you. It's all going to be very much Heath Robinson. I am a novice at this, and this is for novices. So while this won't win any beauty contests, I'm judging it based on whether it keeps my wood dry, seasoned, so I can stay nice and warm. And yeah, I hope that was useful to you. Here we go, just checking out to see if it's still standing. It's kept relatively dry, intact, and it's looking good to me. Just had a rain test. Seems to be okay. Managed to put another coat of stain on it. I might do another one as well after I've done all my log store building, just to use the tin up as well. If this does turn out to be leaky, I'm going to stick a sheet of waterproof membrane underneath here, which will be out of sight, so it'll still look quite good, but it will do the task if that task isn't done by this. So what's next? Next, I'm actually going to do this video next. I'm going to do a video of how I made that, because that looks a bit cooler, I think. And then after that video I'll do this one, which will be the extension onto the side of it for the rest of the oak.